All right, let's just get right into it. For what feels like forever, we've all been asking the same question. When is Derrick Henry finally going to slow down? And as we look ahead to the 2025 season, that question is louder than ever. Is he still the unstoppable king, or is he staring right over the edge of that dreaded age cliff?
And that's really the perfect word for it, isn't it? A paradox. You've got a guy coming off one of the best seasons of his entire career, yet he's at the exact age where running backs historically just fall apart. So where do you even start? How do you make a decision on a guy like this?
But before we even touch the numbers, we got to take a step back and remember who we're talking about here. Derrick Henry isn't just some other running back. He's part of that legendary club, the Heisman winners. We're talking about college football royalty.
What's so wild about the Heisman is, yeah, it puts you in the history books, but it doesn't write your future for you. The very first winner, he never even played a pro snap. Niall Kinnick tragically died serving his country, and Roger Staubach had a whole military career before becoming a Super Bowl MVP. The point is, these guys all have these unique, unpredictable paths. Winning the trophy is just the beginning of the story, and Derrick Henry's is still very much being written.
Okay, so with that legendary status in mind, let's get to the heart of the problem for 2025. This is where the legend of King Henry slams right into the cold, hard math of reality. So let's start with the reality of what he just did, 1,921 rushing yards. Let that sink in for a second. That wasn't just good for an old guy. It was flat out elite, one of the most productive seasons for a running back over 30 ever.
And here is the other side of that coin. 31. In the NFL, and especially for running backs, that number is like a giant flashing red warning light. It's the age where careers don't just dip, they often nosedive. And this is why that age matters so much, a 37% average decline. We're not talking about a small slump here. This is a free fall. It's a catastrophic collapse. This one number is the single biggest argument against Derrick Henry, and it's the thing that should keep you up at night. But what if Derrick Henry is just different? What if he's the exception to every rule? Let's build the case for the king, the argument for why he just might be the one guy to defy decades of history and make that scary number totally irrelevant. I mean, just look at the massive difference the move to Baltimore made. His yards after contact, that's just pure power and will, shot way up. His breakaway runs, the ones that single-handedly win you a fantasy week, they exploded from 18 to a league-leading 27. And in the red zone, where the money is made, his touchdown rate just skyrocketed. The Ravens system basically turned him into a supercharged version of himself. And you want to know a huge reason why that happened? Just look at this chart. His offensive line, it's clear as day. Back in Tennessee, he was getting hit almost immediately. But in Baltimore, he got more than a full yard extra before anyone even touched him. That's a massive runway for a guy his size to get that freight train rolling. It's a total game changer. So let's put the whole pro-Henry case together. You've got a true physical freak who is still hitting 20 miles per hour deep into last season. He's in the absolute perfect system for his skills where defenses can't just load up to stop him. He's got a top-tier O-line creating huge holes, and most of them are coming back. And oh yeah, the Ravens just backed up the Brinks truck with $25 million guaranteed. They sure aren't betting against him. Okay, that all sounds pretty great, right? It's a compelling argument. But for every single one of those points, there is a powerful counter-argument. And it's a simple one that has beaten every running back in the history of the sport. Father Time. 2,553. That's how many times he has carried the football in his career. Just think about all those hits, all that mileage. The historical data is undeniable. No running back with that much tread on the tires has ever maintained elite production past age 31. He is in completely uncharted and very dangerous territory. And here's another huge red flag, his touchdown dependency. A massive chunk of his fantasy production came from scoring touchdowns, which are just notoriously unpredictable year to year. If that number just naturally drops back toward the average, what we call regression, say from 16 touchdowns down to 11 or 12, he instantly goes from an elite, league-winning back to just another good one. The margin for error is razor thin. Now this might be the most telling statistic of them all. It's like we found his kryptonite. Look at this split. Against the bad and mediocre run defenses, Henry was a god, an absolute monster. But against the top 10 units in the league, he was human, completely average. His production was basically cut in half.
So the red flags for 2025 are pretty clear, and they're waving furiously. He's facing a much tougher schedule with double the number of elite run defenses. He's got that historic, unprecedented workload on his body. He's got a fight with Lamar Jackson for touchdowns at the goal line. And hanging over this whole thing is that massive, historically proven 37% age cliff. That's a lot to ignore. Which brings it all back to one person, you. The evidence for both sides is strong, the numbers are clear, the history is written. You're on the clock. It's your first-round pick. What are you going to do? I honestly don't think I've ever seen a player summed up more perfectly than this. He feels safe because you know without a doubt he's going to get a massive workload, which gives him a solid floor. But he's also incredibly risky because that age cliff could show up in week 1 without any warning at all. And this quote from a fan just captures the feeling so many of us have had, right? For years now, people have been betting against him, saying, this is the year, he's finally too old. And every single year they've been wrong. But as this person says, they'll be right eventually, won't they? So that's the ultimate question. The crown still belongs to King Henry. The throne is his. But every dynasty falls eventually. After seeing all the evidence, the question isn't just if the wheels will fall off, but are you willing to bet your entire fantasy season that it's not this year? Are you betting on the king, or are you betting on history?